Hello everybody, this is Toni Turner and welcome to the market now as of about noon Eastern on Friday, September 14th. U.S. stocks are inching higher for a fifth day so far today as declines in real estate and utilities are offset by gains for banking stocks. That's been driven by a rise in the 10-year U.S. government bond yields above 3%. Financial stocks rose 0.52%. The most among the 11 major S&P sectors after the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield broke back above the key technical level for the first time since the start of August. And on that note, let's move on to three charts that could give us some insight into the week to come. First of all, as we normally do, we're going to look at a daily chart of the S&P 500 SPDR, symbol SPY. This is the exchange-traded fund that closely follows our S&P 500 index. Now, as it has been, we can see that the SPY is currently in a very, very nice uptrend here. We had on August 29th right here, we had a new all-time closing high at $291.48, or about $29.14 on the S&P 500 itself. And of course, that's above back here the January 26 all-time high, which came in at $286.58. Now, when I captured this chart today, the SPY was trading at $291.15, just within kissing distance of this all-time high back here a few weeks ago in August. Now, we have nearby price support here at the 20-day moving average, the red line, 20-day simple moving average at $288.55. Of course, we also have price support coming in here at $287, and the 50-day moving average coming in here at $284. Now, if we look down, I mean, this is a perfect uptrend. If we look down at the RSI here, we see that it is trying to edge itself back into overbought territory. If it does so, if it touches this line and it's within a hair of it, this is the 70 line on the RSI when stocks indexes, whatever you're measuring. When the RSI comes back up to the 70 line, that means that it is overbought. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, but just means that it's just a slight warning sign for us to pay attention. As you notice, the last time this happened, again toward the end of August, the RSI, the SPY went up, made this all-time high, and then pulled back. And that's because profit taking comes into moves higher habitually all the time. People take profits. So that's what price does in a very nice uptrend like the SPY is doing now. It moves up and down to get itself worked up and move up the chart. Now, what's kind of interesting down here is that the MACD, if you can see it right here, this is the MACD, the Moving Average Convergence Divergence Oscillator. That red line you see here is the zero line. As long as the MACD is above the zero line, we're good. What I find here that's kind of interesting is that the MACD is no longer climbing in an uptrend. It's just moving sideways here above the zero line, which is a good thing, but it's just moving sideways. It isn't continuing to move higher. So I find that kind of interesting. Now, a lot of that has to do with the recent retracement we saw for the last couple of 3 weeks back here until it bounced up this week. Price bounced up this week. But that MACD is not as excited as everybody else is about this uptrend. So while that's not a big negative, it is something I'm just kind of going to keep to one side here and remember that it's happening. That can indicate there's a little more weakness deep down than we can see. Anyway, but again, we can't argue with success, so we'll see in the coming week if the SPY can move back up. Can it move above this all-time high that we had on August 29th at 186.74? Can it move above that and continue in this uptrend? Or again, does it need to start softening here as we look forward to the Fed announcement coming week after next? Our next chart for today, again, we're going to look at the PowerShares QQQ. As you know, The QQQ represents the NASDAQ 100, a very important index in the market, and it consists of all the top 100 non-financial stocks in the NASDAQ stock market. Now, as you know, the top components of the Qs are the big momentum tech stocks like Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Intel, Facebook, that whole group. And the QQQ made a new all-time closing high on August 29th as well. Q's coming in at 186.74 for this all-time closing high. Pretty cool that these indexes are doing this. Now, when I captured this chart today, the QQQ was trading at $184.53. Like the SPY, the QQQ is definitely moving in a very sweet uptrend here. And you can see that the 50-day moving average, the green line, is acting as a very, very nice trend line here. And you can see that the trend line I drew here, the uptrend line, they're moving in tandem pretty much right now. So this can offer potentially strong support if the Qs do want to roll over. Now today it's a very narrow candle that we have trading here. Again, the Q's trading at $184.53. What we'll have to see is if the big momentum stocks can remain strong in the coming week, they'll have to do that to maintain this uptrend. Now, Apple is hesitating now after making a new all-time high at 229 on August 31st, and Amazon is performing similarly after also making a new all-time high at 2050 on September the 4th. So we'll see here if the Qs can keep going in the coming week. They're losing a little bit of their giddy up, or it, I should say, is losing a little bit of its giddy up if these big momentum stocks come in. Now, the RSI here is fine. If we look down at the MACD, we note that it too, like the SPY, is moving. Actually, the MACD on the Qs is moving in a slight downward move here. No big deal. It is above the zero line. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but the MACD signal line has now fallen below the MACD line itself. So not a big negative, but again, something to keep kind of on a sticky note on the edge of your monitor that could indicate that the NASDAQ may need a rest here coming up. We'll have to see. Of course, we want it to stay above the trend line rising up here at about 181 and the 50-day moving average coming up here at about 180. So 181, 180 and change. This is the potential support that we need to keep the QQQ in the uptrend that it is in. And any sign of weakness, of course, we should add a little more caution to our strategies. Our final chart today, our third chart, is the Invesco Water Resources ETF daily chart. The Invesco Water Resources ETF is a U.S. exchange, includes U.S. exchange listed companies that create products designed to conserve and purify water for homes, businesses, and industries. Top components include Xylem, Roper Technologies, Ecolab, Danaher, and Waters Corporation. Now, if we look at the PHO, and now this is not the most exciting ETF in the world, but again, if September and October get a little rocky here, I should say the end of September and October, and then into October gets a little rocky here, I would like to be someplace that's maybe a little bit out of the spotlight, because big momentum stocks, if we do get a little pullback here in the market, the big momentum stocks tend to sell off pretty quickly, while stocks like those in the Invesco Water Resources ETF may be a little quieter. They're not quite so in tune with the rest of the momentum. So we see that mostly in the year that we've just been going through, 2018, the PHO has been moving, and excuse me for not drawing the straight line here, has been moving in a triangle. This was January, as you can see. The last all-time closing high for the PHO was $31.75. That was on January 26th. From there, the PHO fell dramatically in January of this year, like everybody else did, and then moved itself into quite a long, drawn-out triangle that lasted toward the third end of June. It's finally broken out, moved up, and moved up over its 20-day, back under it, but held on the 50-day, and now is starting up, and today is making right now a new all-time high at $32.30. Now, this is not a day trading stock. It doesn't have enough volume for that. However, the PHO breaking into new highs here could be pretty bullish. As you can see, the PHO is trading at a premium to the 20-day moving average, and as I captured this chart today, it's trading at, again, an all-time high of $32.30. Now, if the PHO remains positive into this coming week, I may add shares to my portfolio. This is blue sky territory up here. The trader in me, I must admit, would like the PHO, to pull back maybe to 31.75 or something and then bounce. I'd rather get in there, but if it continues higher, I'm also good with that too. I will place my initial protective stop, as I always do, as a close below the 50-day moving average, which is coming in now at $31.40. And then if the PHO, if I buy shares and I get in it, put my initial stop here. If it continues to rise, I will begin to trail my stop underneath the PHO. So you may want to keep an eye on the PHO and see how it does in the coming week. And now for next week's economic reports. But first, please join us this coming Monday, September 17th, for our next session of Toni's Market Club. We'll talk about which side of the market to trade, have a mini trading lesson, and I'll give you stocks and ETFs that may become ripe for high potential trades. This is a low-priced, high-value opportunity to learn more about the market, become a smarter trader, and make more money. So please join us. For those who cannot attend our live session, no problem. The recording of our session is available to all of our members just a few minutes after the session ends. For more information and to join, go to tonysmarketclub.com. And now for the coming week's economic reports. On Monday, we have the Empire Manufacturing Index. Tuesday, not much going on in the way of economic reports. Wednesday, we have building permits, housing starts, and our usual crude inventories. On Thursday, we have our usual jobless claims, the Philly Fed, existing home sales, and our nat gas inventories. Not much going on economic-wise on Friday. Again, join us for Toni's Market Club this coming Monday. Don't miss out on this terrific opportunity to raise your trading skills and your trading profits. Until next week, keep green on your screen. I'm Toni Turner, and this is The Market Now.